Hello, everyone. This is the To the Nations Worldwide blogcast, where we introduce a blog post each week. And I'm your host, Mike Pletz. This is the first post of many about our road trip through South Africa, and check in every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern for the next post. Comment anytime below about your questions, and I'll be sure to answer them for you. Also, like our Facebook page for more about what we're doing at To the Nations Worldwide. This week's post is about our 13-day road trip through South Africa explained. And you can find the link in the blog, in the Facebook post. We're going to talk about our destinations, the cities we went to while in South Africa, and why we planned it the way we did today. But first things first, why South Africa? Why did we travel to South Africa? Well, it was both our choices, mine and Natalie's, to travel to South Africa to knock it off our bucket list. We'd always wanted to travel to the country. We knew 13 days wasn't enough to see the whole country, so we had to decide what part we were going to see. First thing was to go to Cape Town. We both wanted to spend a few days in Cape Town and get to see the area. That gave us our starting point. We knew where to begin with the rest of our planning from there. So, with the road trip, we knew we were going to rent a vehicle. The next question was, how many hours a day could we drive? We figured 3 to 5 hours to drive would give us enough time, if we left early enough, to enjoy the rest of our day at the destination we arrived. So we came to the conclusion 3 to 5 hours, and that would be our next stop. So after a few searches, we found a few towns that we'd be interested in visiting, and we researched what we could do in each town. So starting from day 1 to day 3, we spent 3 days in Cape Town. It was incredible. We hiked up Table Mountain, which was terrifying. We traveled to Cape Point, which was gorgeous. We visited a winery, and we saw the penguins at Boulder Beach. We even enjoyed the nightlife and viewed the waterfront. It was an amazing 3 days in Cape Town, but going to our next city, we went to Oudtshoorn. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Unfortunately, we left a little bit late in our journey, so our plans to see the ostrich farms there and to go to Kango Wildlife Ranch and to see the Kango Caves were pushed to the next day. We enjoyed a nice dinner there for the night, and we woke up early to see the Kango Wildlife Ranch and to see the animals that we thought we might not be able to see at the safaris we were going to go to. We even pet some adult cheetahs there. We also got to tour an ostrich farm, which was fun. It was enjoyable, and we got to learn more about the ostriches. We did not get to see the Kango Caves, which was unfortunate, but if you have ever been there, please leave a comment below, and I'd love to hear your story about the Kango Caves. It was unfortunate we didn't get to go there, but we left right away from Oudtshoorn that day to go to Port Elizabeth, and in Port Elizabeth, we stayed 2 nights. While there, we went to Addo Elephant Park, which was our big safari day. We spent a full day in the safari. We drove around in our own car, and we got to go on the paths that we wanted to go on to. We also did a horseback tour of the safari. That was fun too. This is what we did in Port Elizabeth. It was about a 4 to 5 hour drive away from Oudtshoorn, so kind of pushing the limit of what we wanted to go to. But going from Port Elizabeth to our next point was our most ambitious drive, and we wanted to take in as much of the culture as possible in South Africa. So we found this place called Bulungula Lodge. It's near Coffee Bay, and it was a 9-hour drive from Port Elizabeth. It took up our whole day. We got there just before the sunset, which was lucky because it took us about 2 hours on a dirt path, very bumpy. But we got there just before sunset, and we enjoyed 3 days in the local village. We got to go fishing. We got to go take a tour of the village, and we got to live like a local for those 2 days. It was fun, but we were ready to get back to the city life after those 3 days. And our next trip was Durban, another ambitious trip, but we're getting close to the end of our 13 days. Durban was about a 8-hour drive from Bulungla. So we did get to see lots of the landscape while we were driving. That's the positive of it. The negative was we felt like we were in that car for a long time, and we didn't get to see as much as Durban as we wanted to. Let us know if you've ever been to Durban and what's good there to do, so we know for the next time we visit. Unfortunately, we only had to have dinner in Durban, and then the next morning we were off to our next destination, which was only about 2 hours away from Durban. This was in Richards Bay. Richards Bay, we just figured we would relax at the beach. We'd been driving lots. We rented a beautiful Airbnb, and we just relaxed. We also took a day trip to St. Lucia, where we got to see the hippos. That was a lot of fun, very interesting to see those hippos in their natural habitat. Just about an hour-and-a-half drive away from Richards Bay. So we took the day and took our time there to really soak that in. It was the last of our kind of excursions in South Africa. So that was it. We drove back to Richards Bay. We enjoyed a beautiful lake set dinner, and that was our last dinner in South Africa. From Richards Bay, we went back to Durban. Like I said before, about an hour-and-a-half, 2-hour drive. Got to the airport, and we left South Africa. That was our 13 days. Those were our destinations in each of those 13 days. That's what we planned. That's the way it went. So we hope that this 13-day road trip through South Africa, why we planned it the way we did in our itinerary, finds you well. I hope that you get some inspiration to travel to South Africa. It was a beautiful place. And we'd love to hear what you did when you visited South Africa, or if you plan to visit South Africa, in the comments below. Be sure to like our Facebook page for more on travel advice, destinations, and future updates. And thanks for joining us.